Hello everyone, it's Thumper the Rabid Rabbit. We're right back at it. It's April. Good morning. Got 119,000 left after establishing our new secondary pigsty, and the grass is ready to mow. I'm assuming it's ready to mow in the north field there too, but I don't care because we need to plant that field, and that's going to be sorghum. So we gotta mow it, turn it, seed it, get it all ready to go today. So it may not be at the second stage grass growth, but we're still mowing today because we need to turn that field, and I don't want to give up the free grass there. Now, as you may remember in the end of the last episode, I was itching to get some new land, and I still am, and I'm looking really carefully at that 119,000 number. And I've got an idea. I think maybe I can buy up a lot of land. I've got one in mind, one north of here, that has pretty good space of grass that we could mow right now. So that's my thought. Roll the dice. Damn it, I had to rent that shit. We can roll the dice, buy the land, get the silage off of it, hope that gives us enough 3 months from now for harvest, and hope we have enough left over after buying it to do the turn and seeding of the north field today, because we're only going to have nothing good there. What would we have? About 30,000. I think we could do it. I think we can do it. That one right there. Balls it. Let's go. There's also timber on the corner of that plot, so can always hack some trees up to to keep ourselves in the black if we have to. First thing I'm going to do here before I go up and try to mow this is set myself as close to north-south as I can, and then I want to paint. I'm going to use grass texture to paint the edges of this new plot of land so I know what I'm working with here as far as my boundaries. Like it's right here. Probably not quite these trees, but that makes sense. Let me, yeah, there we go. Let me get right on the edge of it. See if this matches up to our other field. Not quite. Oh, close. See, that's very interesting. You can see the edge of the field we own down there. It's furthest side and top. So there is a little bit of a gap here, which makes sense because, you know, when we were cutting fields on land we didn't own, we'd end up with that little extra grass pile right on the edge. So that gives you an idea what the borders of these plots of land look like. If you own two neighboring properties, you get everything, but if you don't, then there's this little buffer of just a couple, looks like just a couple squares. So interesting thing to know. Also why I'm painting the wide border here, because I was getting very annoyed by like dropping grass or other product just like what should be on the edge of my property, but I still can't pick it up without owning the neighboring property. So this is the full size, I guess this is like 10 squares of texture. So this gives me a pretty good idea of, you know, where the edge of my land is and how to stay away from it. If I'm generally staying away from the edge of this textured patch, then I know I'm getting stuff that I can pick up and use and so forth. So I think that just about takes care of it. Let's get to mowing. We got lots of mowing to do. Let's do it. is a little longer than I normally would run the time lapse for mowing. You all know what mowing looks like, but since this is my new field, figured I'd run the whole time lapse of cutting this whole thing so you can see what I'm up to here. It's not perfect. I'm not getting everything, but generally getting nice big large swaths of grass here. Not sure how many bales we'll pick up off of here, but hey, $85,000 piece of land. You know, we could potentially pick up, you know, if it was a trailer load, it'd be like 30 grand worth of silage. So, trailer load's only 24 bales. We might get 24 bales off that. So that means we really only need to mow that thing like 3 times and turn it to silage to pay for the land. So that's not a bad deal. And now we can actually let the AI farmer loose doing this mowing, which means I can go grab a rental tractor and grab our silage baler that we own now. And I can get to work on baling this new field area while we let the AI farmer cut the other fields. So just keep letting this cruise on through, and then we'll come back as this finishes up, I think. My friends, behold, feast your eyes on the glorious silage haul here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and almost a 7th full trailer load of silage bales. Amazing. That's some good cashola right there. That's gonna be 150 plus thousand in silage. Perfect for getting us through harvest, because this will be ready in 3 short months. Now, unfortunately, I have to come back here and edit from this point because chaos struck. Behold, the farm is fucked. All the texture is gone. My house is full of plants. Something went terribly wrong during the autosave. The game crashed. And when I came back, the texture is gone. The terraforming isn't gone. Our silage bales are here. And in fact, some of our texture is under the grass still. The crops are gone, although you can see the field plots still exist, even though they just appear to be wild grass now. It's not good. So I had to go to work, went to the interwebs, figured out that mercifully the game does store automatic backups on an interval in another folder. Yeah. Unfortunately, that next backup that was still intact was about 4 hours of work earlier. As you can see, we still have 6 full and about a half trailers of silage after going through all of it. Not once, but twice. Unbelievably, halfway through redoing all of that harvest, or the silage and grass harvest, it crashed again and corrupted the game data again. So what you're seeing here is attempt number 3. With a couple extra save games that I've stored off during this process, just in case. But here we are. One of those caused some financial issues during the process. And so I'm kind of low on cash right now. But that's okay, because I'm really close to being done here. I've got one AI farmer running the stone picker. And now I'm starting the other one with the seeder to put down our sorghum. So I think the next thing to do is going to be to start chopping wood on our new plot of land. I do need to clear the trees out of the main area of it to make the grass harvesting easier until we do something with that land anyway, so that's fine. I'm guessing, since I still need to roll this, some of that I can do by hand and save some money. But if I keep letting these AI farmers run, then we're going to run out of money right quick here again. So I think the best use of my time will, in fact, be... Now I'm paranoid. I'm hitting save every time I can. I think the best use of my time is going to be to let those AI farmers run. And then I'm going to jump over by hand and start chopping trees on the new land. And a few short hours later, the tractor I was using for the stone picking's done. So I came over here and picked up all these trees that I was able to chop off of the new plot. And not a moment too soon, because it kicked in the rental on the stone picker and the tractor, and now I'm at negative almost $1,900. So I'm on borrowed time here. I'm hoping these trees will get me at least the 2,000 to get me back above zero. And I think my seeding tractor is actually stopped right now because I'm out of money. So bots won't run when you have no money. So this is to get us back in the black and get the AI bots seeding the field again. And then we're going to need some more money, but I got an idea on that too. Ooh, there we go. Hell yeah, 3,500. All right. Yeah, we're back in business now. That's not going to be enough, I don't think, to finish, because we still need to rent the roller and go roll the field, but we can get the AI farmer back to seeding again. And my plan here is I'm going to grab the trailer, since we don't have to rent the trailer. We own the animal trailer. Since we own that animal trailer, that makes it easier for me to sort of indiscriminately go do pig sales when I need to. And what I'm going to do is, out of Pigsty 1, where we have a few more valuable pigs, I'm going to go swap out some of these like $600 or $700 pigs for just $200 ones. And if we do a couple loads of those, we should get ourselves a few $1,000s. That, I think, will be our survival money to make it through the turn and the seeding here. And then we're very much going to be relying on selling the silage 3 months from now to pay for harvest season. And we're not going to have a whole heck of a lot in between. But let's see what a few loads of pigs does for us. So the piggy turning strategy actually worked out very nicely. Same volume of pigs over there now, freshly growing. And we netted almost 17,000 off of that move, which was perfect because as I was seeding and rolling over here, I discovered that the Massey, not this rental one, but the other one, was actually right at the edge of its maintenance. Like, it was full red, almost gone. So I had to run it over and do the maintenance on it because it's getting a little older now. I've already got 45 hours almost on that. Feels like we just rebought that recently, but yeah, it's up there again. And because it's up there, the maintenance goes up quick, and so we had to blow like 13, 14 grand on the maintenance to get it rolling again. So now I'm doing the field rolling here by hand with this tractor, with the rental tractor and roller, just to save a few bucks. It's not hard to do it by hand, so just doing it by hand, except when you totally miss the line like that. Oh my gosh. It's alright, I have plenty of time. Seeder is much narrower than the roller is here. Whoops. I'm gonna fold that up all the way. Darn it. So yeah, every few passes of the seeder I can do another pass by hand here of the roller. And it saves a little bit of money. I think we'll have enough to make it all the way through. And the one thing that still does need to happen is I need to go grab the weeder and run over all this too, because the weeds are growing and we want to get them here in the early stage with the weeder so we don't have to do pesticide and all that later, or herbicide later. Having finished all of the seeding and rolling, I got the AI farmer started with the Massey and the weeder, which we own, so thankfully it's only the labor hours stacking up against us now. And we got a few thousand in the bank, and it'll probably be enough for it to do that whole field here. But while I'm letting it do that work, I've decided I will go ahead and trim down all these trees that are small enough to carry by hand that are up around here. Just gonna stack them all up, and this will be the new emergency fund here. Just gonna cut all these down and stack them, and then if I do run out of money before it's done weeding, I can always just grab a couple of these, drag them over, and sell them for a few bucks. One of the next purchases I really wanted to do is get the wood sawmill. Wood mill? Sawmill? Lumber mill? Sawmill, I think. You get a much better price for all of this wood if you own a sawmill, so that's kind of why I was hoping to buy one, so I didn't have to keep selling these trees back to the farm shop where you don't get premium pricing for it, because it can be a lot of work to cut all these down and haul them all over, especially if you're doing the big wood, renting all the equipment and doing all that. So I mean, if you can get extra 10, 20+% out of having your own facility, that adds up quick. I mean, that was hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of forestry we did last time. You add another 20% on there and you've bought that that sawmill. So that's why I've got that in mind. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it or have to do it, but that's what I got in mind. In case you haven't noticed, I have this habit of just grabbing the concrete texture and hitting the bottom of trees so I can see their stump easier. Otherwise I forget where they all are. So at some point I'm sure I'll want to come back and I'll want to remove these stumps, and this texture is so obvious in the field that it's really easy to come back and find all these stumps and remove them later. And I'm also assuming I'm going to turn it into like I'll plow it, so that texture will go away whenever I plow it and turn it into actual arable land. So it's all good. All right, just finishing up the last row of weeding here, doing it by hand just to save a buck. And still fascinated that whenever I do this by hand, it leaves tracks. I keep bringing up the menu thinking there's got to be a setting that's different than when the AI farmer. Guess not. It's just interesting to me that doing this by hand leaves tracks and AI farmer does not. It's got to be a bug, but whatever. I did finish harvesting all the wood here that I cut down, all the stuff you can pick up by hand, so that's all stacked up and waiting for an opportunity to sell later. We don't quite need it today, so we'll just keep it in reserve here. But boy, howdy. What a day. I think I'm actually going to call it end of episode 19 here. I thought this was going to be easy. I was excited to grab that new field and get the silage run done, then turn this field quick and get the sorghum in the ground and then move right along, get a harvest going, have a good time. But no, Thumper, that's not how this shit works. The game has to crash repeatedly, corrupt your game data, screw up the silage harvest, mess up the bales, crash again. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. In the end, we ended up with almost the same amount of silage as the first try, which is fine. We did make it through turning the field. So, just a whole lot more adventure than I had expected or signed up for on this one. Who knew? Farming can be difficult. But hey, we're doing good. We still got a couple of bucks. It's April. We're gonna make some money off of like our windmills overnight between now and July. Probably make a couple $1,000s more. But I think we're gonna kick off episode 20 next with silage. Should be well over 100 grand, 150 plus. I really want to get into a production chain, either that sawmill or maybe spinnery. Get some sheep into the mix. But replacing the Massey again here is going to have to be a priority because it is getting a little long in the tooth. So that might be where our money goes next. We'll just have to see how it works out, what blows up and costs us all this money we weren't expecting. But otherwise, it's the field. It's farming sim. We plow forward and stay alive. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned and take care of yourselves.